What does being better mean to you? It's not about competing with other people. But in a world where anxiety and depression are becoming a chronic epidemic, those who can overcome and shape their own brains are included in a select portion of the population. If your concept of success is linked to physical and mental well-being, be better than 99% of people. To do this, you need to do what 99% of people don't do. Regardless of your financial situation, it sounds cliché, right? But what if I told you that this is statistically true? The problem is that you complicate things. Yes, you. And today I'm going to show you, based on neuroscience and behavioral psychology, the practical steps to truly change. And the best part, without any fancy techniques or false promises. Stay until the end, because simple, conscious actions can transform your mind and your life forever. Value the process. Most people are focused on the result. They want a toned body and a week, wealth overnight, immediate success. But the truth is that the secret is in the process. When you fall in love with the process, the results are inevitable. A Stanford University study showed that people who focus on progress and learning maintain long-term motivation, while those who only look at the end goal give up much more easily. This is linked to the concept of growth mindset, studied by psychologist Carol Dweck. People with a growth mindset see challenges as learning opportunities, while those with a fixed mindset tend to give up in the face of difficulties. Furthermore, neuroscience research shows that the brain releases dopamine not only when we achieve a goal, but also along the way, whenever we see progress. This means that celebrating small victories and valuing the process creates a positive cycle of motivation. For example, a study published in the Journal of Neuroscience showed that small rewards along the way increase persistence and reduce the risk of giving up on long-term challenges. Another important factor is the role of the brain's reward system. Psychologist B.J. Fogg, from Stanford University, proposes creating sustainable habits through small, incremental changes. He argues that small, consistent actions, like doing 10 push-ups a day instead of trying an intense gym routine all at once, increase the likelihood of adherence over time. Therefore, if you want to achieve big goals, change your focus, celebrate each step, value learning, and trust the process. The real secret to success is not in expecting quick results, but in building a mindset that allows progress to happen in a continuous and sustainable way. Enjoy the now. Well, that's when your life is passing by. Monitoring your stress. Chronic stress destroys your mind and body. It destroys your life. It's not just a feeling, it's science. Studies from Harvard Medical School indicate that high levels of cortisol, which are caused by stress, negatively affect memory, decision-making, and even the ability to learn new things. The brain enters a constant state of fight or flight, damaging essential areas such as the hippocampus, which is responsible for learning and retaining information. But what can you do? Simple, understand what stresses you out and eliminate what you can. Of course, it's not always possible to eliminate all sources of stress, but you can strengthen your brain to better deal with them. The first tip is to practice meditation. A study from Johns Hopkins University showed that meditation reduces cortisol levels and improves focus and mental clarity. Just 10 minutes a day is enough to start feeling the benefits. Another simple exercise to do is controlled breathing. Techniques such as diaphragmatic breathing or the 4x4 box, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. Neuroscientists say that this technique helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing the stress response and improving emotional control. Another important habit in combating stress and mental health is to get enough sleep whenever possible. Sleep deprivation increases cortisol production and reduces the brain's neuroplasticity, making learning and memory more difficult. The National Sleep Foundation recommends at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night for optimal brain performance, It's worth trying these practices to control your stress before it controls you. Train your brain. Your brain is plastic. This means it's constantly changing, adapting to the stimuli it receives. Want an example? Studies show that musicians have a more developed motor cortex, meditators have a smaller amygdala, the brain's fear center, and even London taxi drivers develop a larger hippocampus because they have to memorize complex routes. Now, the big takeaway: your brain isn't just changing, it's waiting for you to shape it. And one of the most effective ways to do this is to keep an emotion journal. Every day, write down what you felt and why. It sounds simple, but this practice has a powerful impact on your brain. Microscope the science behind it. Research from the University of California shows that labeling emotions reduces activity in the amygdala, which is responsible for fear and stress. In other words, you gain more control over your emotional reactions. Other neuroscience studies indicate that recording feelings strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the region of the brain responsible for planning, discipline, and decision-making. It's like a gym workout for your mind. Psychologist James Pennebaker discovered that writing about deep emotions not only improves mental well-being, but also strengthens the immune system. Rocket. And in practice, if you felt anxious today, write down, "I felt anxious before the meeting because I was afraid of being judged." This teaches your brain to process emotions more rationally. If something made you happy, write down what it was. This helps strengthen positive thought patterns and increases your emotional resilience. Your brain is like a muscle. Train it with the emotion diary. Practice reading this diary as if it were repetitions to make it more rational in decision-making and in controlling emotions. Exercise. Here's something that sounds like a cliché. But what I'm here to tell you is that this practice should become non-negotiable. To stand out in a world full of anxiety, depression, and emotional imbalance, exercise. Your self-esteem will thank you too. Even more so if it's dormant. Therefore, exercise is not just about aesthetics. It improves your mood, your memory, and your resistance to stress. And this is not motivational talk, it's neuroscience. Studies show that aerobic activities, such as running, swimming, and cycling, increase the production of neurotransmitters essential for brain function, the famous happiness hormone. Serotonin is activated. It helps reduce anxiety and improves emotional well-being. Low levels of serotonin are linked to depression. Regular exercise naturally increases its production, improving your mood in a lasting way. The controversial and rich dopamine, responsible for motivation and the feeling of reward, also comes as a result of physical activities. Do you know that post-workout satisfaction? It's dopamine present. And what's more, a study from the University of Michigan revealed that regular exercise improves the regulation of this hormone, helping to combat procrastination and increasing discipline. White heavy checkmark BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, one of the biggest secrets to a sharp brain. BDNF acts as a fertilizer for neurons, strengthening connections and improving memory. A study from the University of California found that people who exercise regularly have a larger hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for learning and retaining information. In addition, if you are feeling overwhelmed, exercise is your best medicine. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that physical activity regulates cortisol levels, reducing the impact of chronic stress. In addition, movement activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which relaxes the body and improves mental recovery. Rocket. In other words, do you want more energy, less anxiety, and a sharper brain? Don't complicate things. 30 minutes of exercise a day makes a huge difference. Your body and brain will thank you. Quality relationships. Lightbulb. What is the secret to happiness? It's not money. It's not fame. It's connection. If being better necessarily involved financial success, suicide rates would be practically zero among high-income segments of the population. And, in fact, they are quite high. Fight for your comfort, but remember that it is a means and not an end. A means to have a better quality of connection with the people you love. The longest-running study on happiness, conducted by Harvard University for over 80 years, revealed a common factor among the happiest and healthiest people: good relationships. No matter your social status, bank account, or professional success, what really guarantees long-term happiness are quality human connections. Science reveals that people with strong relationships live longer, have fewer health problems, and deal better with emotional challenges. Neuroscience studies show that positive social interactions increase levels of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which reduces stress and strengthens the sense of belonging. Another study from University College London found that lonely people have a 30% higher risk of developing heart disease and neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. But pay attention, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Toxic relationships do the opposite. They increase cortisol, wear down your mental health, and drain your energy. Light bulb. Therefore, white heavy checkmark. Invest time in friendships that help you grow. White heavy checkmark. Prioritize deep conversations and face-to-face moments. Studies show that face-to-face interactions strengthen the brain much more than virtual interactions. White heavy checkmark. Learn to distance yourself from relationships that only bring negativity. If you want a happier and healthier life, build strong bonds and surround yourself with people who boost your energy. Your brain will thank you. Motivation and gratitude. Being better than 99% of people has nothing to do with money, luxury cars, or mansions. The real difference lies in mental health, purpose, and discipline to build the life you want. But how do you achieve this? The answer lies in the balance between motivation and gratitude. The science behind this shows that motivation comes largely from dopamine, the neurotransmitter that drives us to act. But here's the problem: when we focus only on the end goal, the brain gets used to postponing the feeling of reward, creating a cycle of frustration and anxiety. Go after your dreams, but celebrate every small victory. Your brain needs these positive reinforcements to keep moving forward. Gratitude, on the other hand, activates the brain's reward system in the present. Studies from the University of California, Berkeley show that practicing gratitude increases serotonin production and reduces cortisol levels, helping to maintain emotional balance and avoid the famous never enough syndrome, which increases anxiety and dissatisfaction. The study also showed that writing down 3 things you are grateful for every day can change brain chemistry and strengthen positive thought patterns. Realize that being better in psychology and neuroscience is never tied to money. Although, of course, it is necessary. Being better than 99% of people is simply having the mental health to work on your journey and tasks that make sense to your life. When you seek things that have no meaning for you, your life becomes empty, regardless of your financial situation. Be one of the 1% of people who find satisfaction and well-being in simple things. Less is more when it comes to mental health. Watch this video as many times as necessary and practice what you can in the meantime to elevate your mind forever. Gratitude.